Superstar defensive back Caleb Downs is quickly emerging as the ultimate New Orleans prospect in this year's professional draft. Welcome to a thrilling Monday draft simulation. We will explore how this franchise is aggressively overhauling two critical roster spots that disastrously held them back during the previous campaign: the massive defensive interior and their entire kicking game. Furthermore, prepare to uncover the explosive possibility of this squad grabbing double the aerial firepower during this event, examining those thrilling options. We are launching into an adrenaline-fueled, rapid-fire 7-round projection for the black and gold, happening simultaneously as the league's top brass convenes in scorching Arizona, kicking everything off with the phenomenal prospect everyone is screaming about as the absolute perfect opening round match for this franchise. Superstar defensive back Caleb Downs. We have an action-packed agenda filled with incredible bonus insights awaiting you right now. Strap in, the show starts immediately. With the 8th overall selection in round 1 of today's epic projection, I am fiercely locking in the phenomenal Ohio State defensive enforcer, Caleb Downs. Following their aggressive open market acquisitions, virtually every serious analyst examining this team's trajectory recognizes a monumental window right here to acquire a truly franchise-altering defensive titan. Phenomenal David Bailey, the terrifying Texas Tech edge rusher, Ohio State's fiercely dominant defensive back Caleb Downs, or even the devastating Ruben Bain, the relentless quarterback hunter hailing from Miami. The narrative is wildly shifting away from explosive Jeremiah Love and early receiver obsession, mainly because evaluators are currently fascinated by hidden gems lurking later in this receiving class, a fascinating topic we will furiously break down very shortly. However, the masses are tossing offensive dreams aside, pivoting aggressively towards securing monumental defensive upgrades, especially since management already relentlessly fortified their scoring attack with fresh weaponry. Consequently, the spectacular Caleb Downs keeps overwhelmingly dominating the conversation as perhaps the single most brilliant defensive addition imaginable. Admittedly, I passionately argue, Arvell Reese presents an equally terrifying match, a dynamic pass-rushing, playmaking linebacker who shockingly might slide dangerously far down the board. Slipping down the ranks simply implies missing the 2nd overall slot, though he remains an absolute lock to hear his name called within the top 10. Yet he stands as a spectacular candidate thanks to jaw-dropping versatility, effortlessly sinking into deep coverage, functioning as a traditional backer, yet possessing pure violence to hunt quarterbacks and absolutely demolish rushing attacks. These incredible traits transform Arvell Reese into a lethal weapon for Brandon Staley's tactical masterpiece. Therefore, I refuse to write him or any astonishing prospect off as a spectacular possibility. The undeniable reality, however, is that Caleb Downs possesses explosive upside to morph into Brandon Staley's Louisiana incarnation of Derwin James within his defensive scheme. He represents an exceedingly rare warrior who instantly commands respect, destined to rise as an alpha commander amongst his fiercely competitive peers, boasting the exact unbreakable mental fortitude that completely captivates this coaching regime, while simultaneously delivering, above absolutely everything else, a devastatingly brilliant on-field tactical weapon, an unstoppable defensive queen you can aggressively deploy across every single inch of the gridiron. He genuinely embodies the ultimate fantasy scenario for Brandon Staley. Therefore, I am emphatically declaring Caleb Downs as the explosive catalyst today. We absolutely cannot ignore the brutal line of scrimmage warfare, considering the front office is executing a massive, high-stakes reconstruction of their entire defensive front. Consequently, with round 2's 42nd choice, I boldly drafted Missouri's fearsome edge defender, Zion Young. This gladiator delivers elite adaptability capable of anchoring trenches with brutal force in a 3-4 alignment, while simultaneously possessing explosive burst to terrorize quarterbacks from a standing edge position. You suddenly unite an electrifying duo sharing the Young surname, pairing him beautifully alongside Chase Young, blessing the Crescent City with 2 dominant Zion. Those coincidences are purely superficial but incredibly entertaining. Truthfully, acquiring a monster like Zion Young brings an absolute masterclass of logical perfection to this defensive unit. He aligns flawlessly. His dynamic skill set ensures that whenever strategy demands a fierce, grounded trench fighter, he dominates instantly. Should the coordinator suddenly pivot toward an unconventional alignment, wait, scratch that. Whenever they drastically switch to an even front scheme for critical situational matchups or desperate stops, he transitions seamlessly. Furthermore, he brings utterly punishing run-stopping aggression to the table. He is simply a fiercely comprehensive edge defender elevating the entire unit. Now, I previously hinted at drafting back-to-back pass-catching phenomena. We are seizing our initial aerial weapon. Entering round 3 at selection 73, I am taking Georgia's electrifying Zachariah Branch, a phenomenal talent I relentlessly praise as an absolute personal favorite. Management already conducted a highly exclusive, intense evaluation with this kid. They meticulously tested his explosive kick-returning capabilities while actively witnessing his breathtaking, game-breaking ability to shatter defensive angles post-reception. During his Bulldogs tenure, he thrived primarily as a terrifying post-reception sprinter, whereas his Trojans days showcased elite route-running separation prior to the grab. Brilliantly fusing these spectacular traits creates an unstoppable offensive juggernaut. Standing 5'9", 177 pounds seems diminutive, but his jaw-dropping agility is otherworldly. Boasting blinding 4.35 speed, he snatched 81 passes for 811 yards and 6 spectacular scores. This is the exact electrifying dynamo stepping onto the turf to instantly inject pure adrenaline while simultaneously providing a terrifyingly dangerous kick return specialist. Securing a game-breaking special teams maestro represents a monumental objective. This organization is desperately determined to accomplish before the upcoming campaign officially begins. Heading into round 4, we are unleashing a dramatic double feature. At pick 132, we fiercely locked in Alabama's absolute behemoth, Tim Keenan II, a towering 6'1", 327-pound force. He powerfully recorded 16 total takedowns during his previous campaign, devastatingly blowing up 3 plays for a loss and aggressively securing 2 spectacular sacks. He immediately provides a terrifyingly robust rotational enforcer inside. Furthermore, serving as a designated squad commander magnificently satisfies the rigorous character standards demanded by this franchise. Next, we enthusiastically snatch a brilliant Trojan route runner. Jacoby Lane proudly showcased his undeniable talents, fiercely competing at the prestigious Senior Bowl. That collegiate all-star experience is a massive golden ticket. Therefore, round 4 blesses us with 2 phenomenal warriors, imposing Tim Keenan III alongside towering Jacoby Lane, whose playing profile completely juxtaposes lightning-fast Zachariah Branch. This strategic contrast perfectly highlights why aggressively drafting twin pass catchers is an absolute masterstroke. The sheer variety of explosive archetypes allows you to build a totally unstoppable, multi-dimensional aerial assault. A towering 6'4", 200-pound Titan running a blazing 4.47 sprint, he violently snagged 49 passes for 745 yards and 4 spectacular scores last year, operating dangerously behind Mekhi Lemon's magnificent 12-touchdown explosion in 2024. This absolute gladiator fiercely dominates contested catches in the stratosphere. Analysts constantly exaggerate the hype surrounding desperate 50-50 aerial duels, but he genuinely lives in that spectacular realm. Hitting roughly 49% success on contested throws, his dominance would undoubtedly skyrocket alongside elite quarterback play. Boom. You snag that towering jump ball warrior who absolutely dominates the paint. Plus, this beast brings an incredibly relentless, high-octane energy every single snap. Combine that fierce mentality with a lightning-fast slot weapon. You pair him alongside a terrifyingly explosive yards after-catch phenom like Zachariah Branch. Honestly, that is exactly the lethal offensive foundation you desperately want. We will dissect that shortly. Brace yourselves, because round 5 brings 2 absolute blockbuster selections. I unleashed Western Michigan's terrifying edge rusher, Nadame Tucker. He shared the national sack crown last season, rivaling David Bailey, a projected top 10 Titan who racked up 14.5 brutal sacks. Absolute mayhem in the backfield, logging double-digit tackles for severe losses. Standing 6'3", hovering near 240 to 250-ish pounds, he is your ultimate stand-up quarterback assassin. Pardon the repetition, but he is electric. Meanwhile, Zion Young operates as your ultimate defensive chess master, shifting menacingly across the trenches to exploit absolutely any weakness. With pick 172 in round 5, I drafted Texas Mauler DJ Campbell. He demolished defensive lines opposite Kelvin Banks Jr. back in 2024. 16 violent battles played together. At 6'3", 313 pounds, he brilliantly destroys the field, blazing a 5.0 140-yard dash. You secure an athletic freak-sharing instant, electrifying chemistry with our locker room. Finally, we cap this draft with a monstrous tight end. Utah standout Don Bentley has wildly captivated my attention over these last few thrilling weeks. 6'4", 253 pounds, blazing a 4.62 40-yard dash. He dominated with 48 catches, 620 yards, 6 massive touchdowns, and brutal blocking. He flawlessly fits the dynamic tight end mold the Saints are actively building. Don Bentley gives you an absolute offensive weapon in the passing game, while simultaneously serving as a ruthlessly effective run blocker. Up next, we intensely review this draft masterclass, completely breaking down the thrilling strategy of drafting 2 dominant wide receivers. We will explore even more electrifying roster combinations as we storm ahead into another incredible episode of Locked On Saints, your ultimate daily sports network. Imagine treating sports like a high-stakes stock exchange. Now, unleash your sheer sports genius live with the revolutionary Robinhood prediction markets. Forget battling the house, you are diving headfirst into a frantic live arena. Buy or sell positions fiercely during the matchup, weaponizing your sports intellect exactly when the pressure skyrockets. Robinhood prediction markets completely shatters the old playbook. Actual fans drive the chaos, letting you strike brilliantly the instant the game's momentum violently swings. I possessed elite sports intelligence forever, but lacked an electrifying battleground to unleash that tactical knowledge. Now I am thrust straight into a pulse-pounding, crowd-fueled arena. You are officially off the sidelines. Every single snap, you command your own destiny. Capitalize on every drive with Robinhood, now dominating the United States. Smash that download button on the Robinhood app right now to spark the madness. Trading futures and cleared swaps carries intense financial peril, making it completely unsuitable for everyone. Robinhood Derivatives Limited Liability Company, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm, provides these thrilling event contracts. Listen up, squad. We are blazing through our Mock Draft Monday recap. After that, we dive into spectacular alternate scenarios where the Saints aggressively hoard lethal wide receiver talent, a ridiculously bold maneuver they absolutely must execute in this year's talent pool. Huge shout out to all of you for bringing that fiery energy with us, choosing us as your premier sports fix daily. We are broadcasting live from the absolute chaos of the Arizona owners' meetings. Craving the absolute earliest scoop on every explosive rumor floating around out here? You must join the Everyday Club immediately, specifically our elite all-access tier. You unlock exclusive direct texting with me. I will fire breaking news straight into your hands, completely bypassing the toxic noise and annoying ads of standard social media. Charge straight to lockedonsaints.subcast.com or violently smash the description link for details. Snag that premium membership tier to enjoy completely ad-free episodes, infiltrate our hyperactive Discord community, and unlock insane perks. Come jump into the madness. Hit that description link right now. Let us rapidly dissect the 8 spectacular warriors we just drafted. Ohio State's phenomenal safety, Caleb Downs, ignited round 1. Next, we grabbed Missouri's relentless edge demon, Zion Young, in round 2. Round 3 brought pure fireworks with Georgia's lightning-fast receiver, Zachariah Branch. Then we unleashed 4th-round chaos, snatching Alabama's absolute wrecking ball at defensive tackle, Tim Keenan, alongside our second electric wideout of this phenomenal class, USC's explosive wideout, Jacoby Lane. He provides a massive 6'4" target, perfectly contrasting the lightning-fast 5'9" weapon we acquired earlier. Plunging into round 5, we doubled down aggressively once again. We secured Western Michigan's terrifying edge rusher, Nadame Tucker. He pairs lethally with Zion Young, unleashing a wildly different quarterback terror. Our second 5th-round strike was Texas trench beast DJ Campbell. He packs crucial right guard experience, stepping in ready to fiercely compete. Furthermore, he already shares an unbreakable bond with Kelvin Banks Jr. from their explosive 2024 Texas campaign. Finally, we decisively sealed this masterpiece draft class by locking in Utah's phenomenal tight end Don Bentley. Honestly, that deeper tight end pool is absolutely loaded. You have total studs like Wyoming's John Michael Gillenborg. Houston's Tanner Casiel could definitely hear his name called way earlier. Don Bentley might also surge up boards, but they sat right there waiting, so I aggressively pulled the trigger. The crucial detail everyone ignores. These massive draft rankings are strictly built by noisy media analysts. They definitely do not reflect actual National Football League war rooms. Honestly, 32 entirely distinct, highly guarded draft boards exist within this league. Every single franchise evaluates these gridiron gladiators uniquely. We are entirely in the dark regarding their actual strategies. Any debate claiming someone is undeniably the premier wideout, top safety, or most dangerous edge rusher, absolutely all of it stems entirely from wild media speculation, not hard-hitting insider team intel. Front offices leak narratives to reporters constantly, though franchises guard their true draft blueprints like classified state secrets. Time to analyze these perimeter weapons. Selecting a dynamic pair of elite pass catchers during this annual selection process fits perfectly for New Orleans' strategy. My strategy specifically targeted offensive playmakers alongside trench warriors twice. Notice how I aggressively split those terrifying perimeter sack artists apart. Zion Young brings devastating trench power, anchoring multiple formations with his knuckles buried low, whereas Nadame Tucker operates as a pure, terrifying outside threat. Tucker strictly hunts quarterbacks. He brings lethal upright explosion, perfectly mirroring Chase Young's menace. Young provides similar quarterback terror while adding brutal 3 to 4 grounded trench power. Just as those fierce quarterback hunters feature unique physical molds, offensive perimeter threats showcase entirely distinct structural builds too. We constantly dissect these fascinating molds during our broadcasts. Now I am fiercely translating those deep analytical theories into prime selection scenarios for this incredibly brutal professional football draft event. We just witnessed one massive scenario: grab an explosive miniature third-round weapon like Zachariah Branch, or snag Skylar Bell from Connecticut if he brings more fire. Secure that electrifying threat immediately, setting up round 2. Strike hard with a colossal target next. For my dramatic 4th-round steal, I snatch Southern California's very own Jacoby Lane. Watch this alternate path. Grab Skylar Bell early, then pillage the later rounds for absolute beasts like Josh Cameron or Tyron Montgomery. Cameron is 6'1", 220-plus pounds of sheer muscle. He boasts a phenomenally dense, highly compact frame that delivers absolute punishment upon impact. He dominates defensive backs in midair. Then witness raw phenomenons like Tyron Montgomery, an absolute athletic freak, barely scratching his immense ceiling despite limited gridiron seasons. Yet this spectacular John Carroll University prospect completely obliterated expectations and dominated the legendary Senior Bowl week. These punishing bruisers form the ultimate terrifying tandem when unleashed alongside an impossibly elusive open field yardage machine. Imagine delaying your strike for that lightning-fast playmaker. Instead, you aggressively secure a massive, dominant boundary weapon much, much sooner. Dominating the crucial 3rd round brings 2 absolute beasts into focus. Georgia State's Ted Hurst alongside North Dakota's Bryce Lance. Both elite weapons might survive until selection 73. Expecting them to plummet further is pure fantasy. Finding either warrior waiting at that exact pivotal spot would be pure magic. Drafting either immediately ignites your offense. Observe Hurst. 6'4", 206 pounds, scorching a 4.4 240. He crushed defenses with 71 catches and 6 scores last season. This wildly prolific boundary star easily transitions into a terrifying oversized slot weapon. However, his trench blocking remains relatively untested. You draft him purely to obliterate secondaries initially, gradually forging his raw skills for other duties. Will he evolve into a special teams demon? Can coaches unlock a violently aggressive blocking mentality from this electrifying pass catcher? Unlocking that brutal edge is his ultimate hurdle. Thrillingly, New Orleans already orchestrated private meetings, deeply analyzing his fierce mindset and scouting his immense upside. The front office possesses absolute clarity regarding the explosive damage he could inflict on Sundays. North Dakota star Bryce Lance, 6'3", 204 pounds, flying a blazing 4.3 440. Total insanity. 51 grabs, 1,079 aerial yards, plus 8 magnificent touchdowns. He embodies the absolutely terrifying blend of massive size, blazing speed, and ruthless on-field dominance. His jaw-dropping jets obliterate pursuit angles immediately after securing the football. He abandons jukes entirely, preferring absolute blinding vertical burn. Once he secures 2 steps of clearance, defenders are permanently toasted. Hitting him perfectly on the run guarantees an unstoppable game-breaking highlight. Defenders hopelessly chasing his blazing trail from behind stand 0 chance of dragging him down. He devours enormous chunks of open turf fast. Hunting this absolute rocket from a trailing position is a pure defensive nightmare. He delivers an extraordinarily lethal cocktail: towering stature, crushing physicality, and a breathtakingly savage competitive fire radiating constantly. Plus, that violent gridiron malice pairs flawlessly with his hyper-elite acceleration. Now, imagine securing one of these towering monsters during round 3, strategically delaying your hunt for a terrifyingly elusive open-field dynamo until much later. Prepare yourself for Shreveport's very own absolute phenomenon, Kendrick Law. Any Louisiana fans here? 5'11", 203 pounds. That is spectacularly robust armor for a deadly open-field destroyer, blazing a 4.4 540. He pairs terrifying burst with a jaw-dropping 42-inch vertical. 53 catches, eclipsing 500 receiving yards while adding 3 thrilling scores. I track his production at exactly 540 yards total. Mind-blowingly, 505 occurred post-reception. Coaches forcefully fed him via completely manufactured touches like lightning-fast perimeter screens. However, Law possesses a terrifyingly deep arsenal far surpassing Kentucky's incredibly limited offensive scheme. Transferring from Alabama's legendary powerhouse to Kentucky only masked his pro-level upside. Unleashing this weapon on Sundays will be spectacular. Let us explore aggressive early strikes too. Imagine stealing Carnell Tate instantly in round 1, then ruthlessly dominating the 5th round by unearthing a lethal hidden gem exactly like Kendrick Law. Alternatively, hijack the 2nd round for Chris Bell's violence before securing Jacoby Lane's towering dominance during a late steal. Yes, you purposefully fuse lightning-fast, ultra-elusive open-field playmakers alongside absolutely colossal aerial snipers. Those massive boundary warriors fiercely dominate the perimeter, granting you infinite tactical flexibility to unleash your shifty game breakers everywhere. Forging a completely dominant twin receiver strike force makes terrifyingly brilliant sense for New Orleans this draft season. Hold tight, massive breakdown coming next. The Saints are furiously transforming a pair of absolutely vital roster spots desperate for help, specifically the defensive trenches and special units. Prepare for a deep dive into the explosive moves looming on the horizon as we now push forward on today's thrilling Locked On Saints, Locked On Podcast Network, your squad daily. Bring the noise, Who Dat Nation. New Orleans remains relentlessly on the prowl, actively overhauling a pair of critical positional battlegrounds. We are talking about the defensive trenches alongside game-changing special units. Now, we must kick things off deep inside the defensive trenches, as this absolutely stands as the most monumental area dictating massive roster shifts and massive draft day shockers ahead. Discussing the raw guts of this defensive line requires a completely radical approach compared to the traditional conversations we once had. Looking back at the core of Dennis Allen's old scheme, you typically deployed fierce edge rushers. A devastating duo like Cam Jordan alongside Chase Young, or maybe Carl Granderson. Inside, twin terrors anchored the middle, typically featuring a single gap stuffer wedged straight between the center and guard, plus a penetrating three technique positioned directly between the guard and tackle, mixed with aggressive